Hi, this is Jackie with Panama Relocation Tours. Thank you for joining us for our Tuesday live stream. Today, I'm going to be answering your questions about moving to and living in Panama. We did have a different live stream scheduled with someone I was going to interview who moved to Panama just 30 days after her Panama Relocation Tour, but she moved to a new location and her internet's not hooked up. So she had to cancel for tonight. Things like that happen sometimes in Panama, and you just have to go with the flow and be patient and always have a plan B. That's one of the things that you learned. And, there's always going to be questions about moving to and living in Panama. So I wanted to take advantage of that canceled live stream to offer you the opportunity to answer your questions. I'm going to get to those questions in just a little bit, but first I have a few announcements to make. Most of the names I see over in the chat are here every single Tuesday, and so you're our regulars, but I also see some new names that I haven't seen before. So just a little bit of background for the benefit of the new people. My name's Jackie Lang, the owner of Panama Relocation Tours. Since 2010, we've been helping people move to Panama the right way. We've actually helped over 7,000 people move to Panama, but either between our all-inclusive 6-day, 7-night Panama Relocation Tours, our private tours, or the online Panama Relocation Guide. Because we have so much experience with this, we've really got the systems down on what you need to do to really have a smooth move and an easy transition to moving to Panama. So that brings up one more thing, that today is the last day of our Black Friday special. We started it on November the 25th, where we're offering $100 off on our online Panama Relocation Guide. And let me put the little banner up here. 1 second. So right here, so PanamaRelocationTours.com/Black Friday. So if you go there, you can see information about getting $100 off on the online Panama Relocation Guide. The regular price is $595, and if you use coupon code Black Friday 100, you'll get $100 off the online Panama Relocation Guide. And that online guide, I update it every single month. There's several updates that we do. Just in November, we had 5 updates in November. So we have many updates that happen. When you buy it once, you get access forever. There's not going to be a monthly fee. You also get access to our private Facebook group, which has over 7,200 members. And it's a wealth of information in its own. People, whenever they want to know, how do I do this, or where do I go to that, or the lease thing. We just recently, someone said the rental agent wants me to pay a deposit to hold it while I get the lease looked over by our attorney, and we all said nope, don't do that, which is the information in the online guide. And it's a good thing that he didn't pay a deposit, because when the attorney looked over the lease agreement, there were several red flags. So we give you all kinds of tips and information on things to help you avoid mistakes, help you save money whenever you move to Panama. But there's even more than getting just $100 off on the online Panama Relocation Guide. We only do that sale once a year, right after Thanksgiving, for a few days. Just like we're doing now, from November 25th until December 2nd, we offer $100 off. You're never going to see that kind of a discount any other time of the year. So not only do you get $100 off, everybody that buys the online guide between November 25th and tonight at midnight, December the 2nd, you're going to be entered into a drawing to win an all-inclusive 6-day, 7-night Panama Relocation Tour for up to 2 people. Each tour is worth $4,000. We were going to give away 4 tours, which is really fantastic, but I decided to up the ante, and we're going to give away 5 tours. So if you buy the online Panama Relocation Guide, then you're going to be put into a drawing to win an all-inclusive 6-day, 7-night Panama Relocation Tours. Some people noticed I got a haircut. What do you think? it shorter. You know why I did it? Because I went to this one lady that I don't normally go to cut my hair, and she completely screwed it up. So I went to my regular person for her to fix it, and the only way she could fix it was to make it shorter. So, just like everything else in Panama, sometimes you just have to go with the flow, and things happen for a reason. So let me explain to you. So that's information about our Black Friday special. It ends tonight at midnight. So don't send me an email tomorrow and say, oh, I didn't know anything about it, because we've been telling you every single day. We've been posting on Facebook and on YouTube, and I've sent out several different emails about it. So you've known about this Black Friday special for quite some time, and today is the last day. Tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central Time is when the tour ends, was whenever the Black Friday special is going to end. So tomorrow it's going to be back to $5.95. If you buy the online guide today, you can get it for $4.95 if you use coupon code Black Friday 100. So now let me tell you how it works with our Q&A for those people that don't know. What you'll have to do is type your question into the chat window, and you must put 3 question marks in front of it, because there's other little conversations going on over there, and I don't know, which ones are going to be a question for me, or which ones are going to be, it's just a conversation going on. So you'll have to type your questions in. One other thing I forgot to announce about our Black Friday special, we're going to announce the winners of the 5 free Panama Relocation Tours next Tuesday during the live stream. Of course, we'll email the people that won also, but I'm going to send an email to everybody, and also I'll make an announcement on next week's live stream. Next week's live stream, I'll be reporting live from Mexico. I'm going to Mexico all of next week, and so hopefully the internet connection's good. I'm taking my little camera and my lights and the microphone and everything with me. I hope it's going to work out good for me to do a live stream from Mexico next week. So if you have a question for me, all you have to do is type it in the chat window and put 3 question marks in front of it, just like this one. It says, is the internet good in Boquete? Well, like so many things in Panama, the answer is it depends. Most areas in Boquete are going to have fiber optic, either with Tigo, which is my preference, or with a company called Mosmoville. So if you live in an area that has fiber optic with one of those 2 providers, then yes, you're going to have very good internet. But if you live in some areas in Boquete, you can't get fiber optic. So you have to use satellite, or you're going to have to use a Starlink, and then your internet's going to be a little bit iffy. So where you move to makes a really big difference. So next question. Hi, Jackie. What area is close to both mountains and beach that's affordable and close to shopping and hospitals? So there's not really an area. If you go to Valle de Anton, then it's in the mountains, and it's less than an hour to get to the beach. So that's probably your best bet, is to be there. The other one, if you were in Cerro Azul, this is just outside of Panama City. It's up in the mountains, and you're about 40 minutes to get into Panama City. You can be on a ferry and on an island in the Pearl Islands in another 40 minutes. So it's really close. Someone asked if I've ever had plastic surgery. I haven't had plastic surgery, but I do get stem cells every single year. And I think that makes a really big difference. Can you speak about getting a pensionado visa for a medical vacation? Good idea. So there is no pensionado visa that's for medical reasons. I'm not sure that I understand your questions. You can certainly come to Panama and you can get all kinds of medical treatments while you're here, maybe apply for a pensionado visa while you're here, but there is no medical reason that would qualify you for a pensionado visa, if that's what the question was. Jonathan says, we're not planning to retire until mid-2027. Can we begin the pensionato visa process with just a Social Security statement from Social Security? Jonathan, you cannot. You have to be already collecting Social Security, at least one payment, before you can apply for the pensionato visa. By the way, the questions are coming in pretty fast and furious now. If it rolls off the screen before I get to it, copy and paste it. You might have to type it in twice. Can Interactive Brokers be the broker to hold 200K CD for the Friendly Nation visa, or does it have to be a Panama? It has to be a Panama bank to qualify for the Friendly Nation visa. It can't be Interactive Brokers. Can you recommend, who can you recommend in Costa del Este? Seems like a very promising area. Costa del Este is a nice area. You know, some people like that area. Me personally, I wouldn't want to live there, but other people really do like living there. If you look inside the online Panama Relocation Guide, we have a list of immigration attorneys in there. We have a list of recommended real estate agents, insurance brokers, pet relocation, Medicare Advantage agents, international movers, all the recommendations that you need. So we do have some excellent recommendations for Costa del Este that's in the online Panama Relocation Guide too. What season is best for renting long-term rentals? It seems as though the rentals are becoming scarce. Is this true? So during high season, which actually has already started, it starts about the middle of November, first part of December, all the way until April. That's when the snowbirds come down from Canada mostly and northern states where the weather's cold. So there's going to not be very much inventory if you come to look for a rental during that time frame. So if you want to get a long-term rental at a really good price, come when it's not the high season, which would mean come between April and maybe the middle of November. And are there tax preparers in Panama and Boquete? We'll have to go back to the States. I'll be challenging. So yes, there are tax preparers that can prepare U.S. tax returns. We actually have recommendations for several of them in the online Panama Relocation Guide. Now they can prepare your U.S. taxes, your state taxes, and things like that. There's also an H&R Block office in Panama City, in addition to the individual tax preparers. Now, if you earn income in Panama, you're going to have to use the Panama CPA to prepare your taxes. PJ says, Jackie, just wanted you to know that Air private charter people with dogs gave you rave reviews. Well, that's good because I think they're fantastic. It's the only, you know, there's been other charter companies that have contacted me and wanted me to promote them, but they didn't have no reviews. They haven't done any flights. And when I asked them questions, they didn't always have the right answers. So I wanted to, based on the information I've gotten from Air, I knew what the right answer should be. So they're the only private charter company that I recommend, just because they have so much experience. They have a flight almost every month that comes to Panama, down to Panama, and then flights that go from Panama back to the United States. So check out paroair.com. Is the guide a searchable PDF, and how many pages is it? If someone takes a private tour instead of a group tour, is the guide included? So you have to buy the online guide to get the private tour guide information. And it's not exactly a searchable PDF. It's a searchable document. There's a search feature at the top, and you can search anything you want. You can't print it out. It's thousands and thousands of pages. So it's very large and it's constantly changing. And well, this didn't have a question mark, but I'll ask it. Do you know if the MiniMed health membership includes an annual dermatologist checkup and subsequent spot removal if required? So the MiniMed expat health membership, which is only $20 a month or $220 a year, it does include 3 specialist visits per year. It's included in that price. So definitely you can see a dermatologist every year. Now, if there were spots that needed to be removed, there would probably be an additional fee for that. But you get, I believe, a 30% discount if you have the expat health membership. It also includes, just routine doctor visits, lab work, x-rays, all kinds of things. Is it possible to apply for the digital nomad visa with the lawyer on day one of the tour? It would not be possible to do that. There's a lot of documents that you have to bring. They have to be apostille. You have to have proof of insurance, your criminal report, all kinds of things like that. Day one of the tour, we're going to be keeping you busy. We're going to do a tour of Panama City. We tour hospital. So we're going to be busy from 9 o'clock in the morning till 7, 8 o'clock at night. And you would not be able to do it. You'd have to come in early. And I would say you need to plan at least 4 days to get that digital nomad visa. One other thing you need to know about the digital nomad visa, it's not really a good visa. I wouldn't recommend wasting the money or even getting that visa. It's only good for 9 months. That's it. And then you can renew it one time for another 9 months, but then that's it. Then you have to leave the country. So at the most, you're going to get 18 months of living in Panama. Why bother when you can come as a tourist for 6 months with no documentation, just a passport? You can stay for 6 months. Some people leave the country for a couple of weeks and go to Medellin, Colombia, or over to Costa Rica or Mexico for a while, and then you come back for another 6 months. You can do all that without jumping through the hoops to get the digital nomad visa. And next question. Please explain how to use your pensionado visa discount to fly out of Panama. The only way I ever used my pensionado discount to fly inside of Panama or outside of Panama is I send a WhatsApp message to one of the travel agents that we have recommended in our online Panama relocation guide. I let them know where I want to go and tell them, I want business class or economy class. And, say, I don't want to get on a plane before 10 o'clock in the morning because Jackie doesn't do mornings. They know that already. And they book it for me. They get the discount. Quick and easy. It's all done. But do you think Boquete will have main hospital in 2027, since that's when it will be relocating to Boquete? I don't know when the hospital's going to be open, but we'll find it. We'll let you know whenever it's available. There are several different clinics that are in Boquete, and now Hospital May Lewis even has a clinic and an ambulance available that's in Boquete, but they don't have a big hospital there. Please explain. Okay, I already did that question. Next one down here. I've been researching the document apostilling. Is it true that I need to order a new birth certificate and then have it apostilled? It is absolutely not true, because adults do not need a birth certificate to apply for a visa in Panama. You only need a certified copy of a birth certificate for minor children, but not for adults. Can one apply for MiniMed during the tour online? I currently have Medicare. You can apply for MiniMed online. You could do it tonight after this live stream. If you go to our website at Panama Relocation Tours and you search MiniMed, MINIMED, it'll come up to a page that has information about the MiniMed Expat Health membership, has a link to a brochure, and it has a link where you can apply online. You can either pay by the month or you can pay by the year and save a little bit of money. So you can apply even before you come to Panama. You can apply for that. You need a residency visa to use MiniMed. You don't have to have a visa to use MiniMed or to get the MiniMed Expat Health membership. And can you tell me, I'm a U.S. citizen, but I live in Costa Rica for 19 years. To apply for a visa, do I have to provide an FBI report? Do I need to get the Costa Rica? So yes, to apply for the visa in Panama, you have to supply a criminal report. But because you've lived in Costa Rica for 19 years, you don't need an FBI report. You only need the Costa Rica OIJ report is all you're going to need. And that does need to be either apostilled in Costa Rica or authenticated at the Panama consulate that's in Costa Rica. Thank you, Jackie. You're the best. Do the travel agents charge $30 for each trip? USMP, that's a $30 charge. No, they don't charge $30. I think they charge $20 for international flights, and it's even less for domestic flight. Do you have to pay extra to get service from those you have online guide? For example, pay a person to book your flight for the service. So the people that are listed in the online guide are immigration attorneys. So if you buy the online guide, it's going to give you access to the list of people that we highly recommend that are giving a substantial discount to all of our clients. You're going to save money just in getting a visa. Is going to be cheaper by going through the people we recommend. But yes, you have to pay the immigration attorney for getting a visa. The visa is not included with the online guide. If you decide to buy real estate, you're going to have to pay for that real estate. It's not included with the online guide. Same thing with if you get health insurance, you're going to have to pay for the health insurance. It's not included with the online guide. But what is included with the online guide, if you sign up before midnight tonight, is, let me put it in here. If you go to PanamaRelocationTours.com/Black Friday and you buy the online guide tonight before midnight, then you can get $100 off on the online guide if you use coupon code Black Friday 100. Not only will you get $100 off on the online guide, but you're also going to be entered into a drawing to win a free all-inclusive 6-day, 7-night Panama Relocation Tour, which is $4,000 for 2 people. And the tour that you win is for 2 people. So you're going to be entered into a drawing for a free tour. We're not just giving away 1 tour, we're giving away 5 free tours. And the winners are going to be announced next Thursday during the live stream. So you want to make sure and join me next Thursday during the live stream to find out who the winners are. If you move to Panama and no longer have a U.S. address, how do you renew your U.S. visa in the future? So if you are a U.S. citizen, you wouldn't necessarily have a visa. You're going to have a passport, and you can renew your passport at the U.S. Embassy in Panama City. You don't have to go back to the United States to renew your passport. Applying for visas when we return to Panama in February, heading to BDQ, I guess that's Boquete. Can we submit our application in Panama City and go to Bocas for a few days and return to Panama City for the conclusion? So if you're applying for the pensionado visa, you really need to plan to be in Panama City for 5 days to get your visa, because there's going to be several different trips that you're going to have to do. So you need to plan to stay in Panama City for getting your visa. Your attorney might say you've got 1 day off to go do some sightseeing, but then the next day you have to be at immigration by 7 o'clock in the morning. So you're not going to have a few days in the middle to go do anything. Plan that Bocas trip for after you get your visa as the big reward for getting your visa. Next question. Since we'll be bringing our dog and want to bring our car, would you recommend driving, or would it be too difficult to do the drive? So a lot of people do the drive to Panama. Quite a few people have done the drive. We have some YouTube videos of interviewing people that have driven to Panama. And if you're bringing your dog and you want to bring your car and you want to bring some stuff, that's actually the most cost-effective way, is to drive. However, and yet, unless you speak fluent Spanish, you may want to hire a company like Mexico petmovers.com to drive your car down for you. They'll have a bilingual driver that will drive your car. They'll help you get through all the immigration things. Make sure your dog gets approved to get through to the different countries. So make sure and check out MexicoPetMovers.com to get more information about hiring someone to drive you down. Now, if you speak fluent Spanish, or even just a little bit of Spanish, and you know how to use Google Translate really well, they might want to do it. We do have an article on our website of a man that drove down to Panama on his own with his dog. in his car. And he's just spoke a little bit of Spanish, but he was able to come down with no problems. He was very, very generous to put the route that he took. And he also put tips for getting through each one of the different border crossings. So look on our website for that article and the tips for getting through each one of the different border crossings and what it cost, what the procedure was, and all the things that you need to have with you to make it a smooth move. S&M says, was told that by the bank that I needed a lease agreement, permanent rental before opening a bank account. So it's cash needed to obtain a permanent rental. So cash is not needed to obtain a permanent rental. You can wire, not cash. You can wire money from your bank account to the landlord's bank account, just transfer money. You can't use a credit card to do a permanent rental. And my suggestion is go to a different bank that doesn't require a lease agreement, because most banks are not going to require a lease agreement. Thank you for the wonderful information. Do you have to order the guide to have a chance to win the trips? So yes, you have to buy the online guide between November 25th and midnight tonight on December the 2nd for a chance to win a free all-inclusive 6-day, 7-night Panama Relocation Tour valued at $4,000. So the only way to be entered into that drawing is if you buy the online guide. If we bought the guide now and won the tour, is there a deadline to take the tour? You have to take the tour within 1 year of buying the online guide. Is apostille the same as notarized? Apostille is not the same as notarized. A notarization is just someone that's validating that you signed a document and that you are who you say you are. They've looked at your ID. An apostille is completely different. It's on a state or federal level or a province level in Canada, and if a document has an apostille, then it's one country that's saying that this document is an authentic document, and then it will be accepted by another country that's part of the Hague Convention, which recognizes any documents that are apostilled as authentic documents. Not all countries are a member of the Hague Convention. Canada just joined, I think, last year before that. Next question. Tour number 239, graduate. Congratulations. Please take this tour. It will be the best money spent, and Jackie's team is hands-on, one of a kind. Thank you so much for the kind words. If you look on our TripAdvisor, we've got more than 700 reviews. Some of them are not so good, people that didn't like the tour, but 99.9% of them are going to be people that really, really loved their tour. They learned a lot. And I think it's the best way. That's why I designed it. It's the best way to have an overview of the country and to learn all the things you need to know in 1 week. You're going to be on information overload guaranteed at the end of the week. That's why we give you the online guide for free at the end of the tour. All the things that the guides talk about is in that online guide, so you can refer back to that anytime. I called and emailed Andrea Cook about travel help. I haven't received a response. Is she still helping with flights? So she is. The best way to reach anybody in Panama, whether it's Andrea or anybody else, is to send a WhatsApp message. And you got to remember to put that plus in front of it. I would suggest Andrea's assistant's name is Urabel. She's also listed in the online guide, and I would suggest that you contact her. Instead, she's a little bit more available. Is the written driver's license test difficult? I was looking over the test questions and they seem really odd. It seems like a game of Jeopardy. So I've never taken the driving test. I just went and got my license authenticated at the U.S. consulate embassy, so I wouldn't have to take a test. Some people have had some trouble with that test. They only ask you 10 questions and you have to get at least 7 of them right to pass. And several people have had to take it a couple of times before they passed. I've seen it said for U.S. you need documents authenticated or apostilled. Are state apostilles acceptable? Yes, you can do a state apostille for all of the documents. However, some states won't apostille a federal document like your FBI report. Some will and some won't. So you need to check with your state to see if they will only authenticate some documents and not other ones. That's why it's so easy to just go to the authentication route at the Panama consulate, because they'll authenticate all of your documents. And next question up here. I want to move to Panama in September 2026 as a tourist. Can I retire from the U.S. in January and apply for the pensionado visa, or do I need to be in the U.S. for some of the paperwork? So you're going to have to be in the United States for some of your paperwork. Like your fingerprints, you have to be in the United States for your fingerprints. Electronic fingerprints are best. Also, whenever you gather all of your documents, then they have to be either authenticated or apostilled in the United States. You can't get that done here in Panama. So you're going to have to go back there for other things. Once again, if anybody has a question for me, all you have to do is type your question into the chat window, and be sure to put 3 question marks in front of it. And then I'll pop it up on the screen, just like this one, and answer it. I have mixed breed dogs. Is it possible that it's restricted, and how much is the 40-day quarantine? So some dogs are restricted for getting on a commercial flight. What you'll need to do is look at the name of the airline, like Delta Airlines pet policy, Copa Airlines pet policy, American Airlines pet policy. So look at that, and it'll have a list of dog breeds that are restricted for flying on a commercial flight. Things like a pit bull, they're going to be restricted, but there's many other restrictions too. Snub-nosed dogs have restrictions. So look on the airline's pet policy. If your pet cannot fly on a commercial flight, then the other options are to do a shared charter flight, and then your pet can be in the cabin with you. They don't even have to go in cargo, or drive to Panama, or hire someone to drive you to Panama. Those are the other options. You could hire a pet relocation company. That's another option. But they're like $4,000 or $5,000 per pet, and your pet is still going to have to go in cargo. So I don't really see the advantage of the pet relocation companies. Are there banks that will let you open an account before you have a visa? There's only one bank. It's called Banismo. And if you have a letter from your immigration attorney that says you're in the process of getting a visa, then they'll let you open up a bank account. But if you don't have that letter from your attorney, then it's truthful that you're in the process of getting a visa, then you're not going to be able to open up a bank account in Panama. If I'm planning to moving in Panama in March of 27, how much time in advance should I start the planning process, considering that I've been in the country multiple times? So in our online Panama relocation guide, we have a 6-month checklist, and it says 6 months before you move to this and this, 5 months before to do that and that, 4 months before to do this and this. So I would say 6 months before is when you really need to start the plan. At least 3 months in advance, you need to contact an immigration attorney and let them know that you're when you're planning to move to Panama, and also let them know which visa that you're interested in getting. They're going to give you a list of documents that you need to get that visa. We also have that document list in the online Panama relocation guide, and that will give you 3 months to start gathering up the documents that you need, getting fingerprints, getting income verification, a certified copy of your marriage certificate if you're married, if you have minor children, certified copy of their birth certificate. Now, when you apply for the visa, the documents can't be more than 6 months old. So you want to make sure not start the process of documents too soon, because they could be expired by the time you get to Panama. What do you recommend for cell service to keep this number with a U.S. carrier for U.S. bank authentication. So if you want to keep your U.S. number, what many people do is they get a Google Voice account. I think it's called Google Voice. And then they can port their number over to that, so you can still get calls and you can still get the two-factor authentication. We actually have an article about with some other suggestions. So if you look on our website and search two-factor authentication, then you can see that article with some other recommendations of things you can do as well. You mentioned driving in Panama from the U.S. I've read it isn't wise to bring your U.S. car to Panama as the specs are different. It's true that the specs are completely different. Panama cars are cars that you buy in Panama. They're not going to have catalytic converters and emission controls on them. But more and more people have been driving to Panama, so mechanics have been going to training and learning how to work on cars, U.S. cars that are brought down here. But one of the things that you want to check is whatever car that you're planning to bring is make sure that they're going to have the parts available for it here, because there's some cars, the only way you can get the parts is if you order them. So make sure it's a car that's going to have parts. If you contact one of our car brokers, it's listed in the online Panama Relocation Guide, and tell them what car you're planning to bring down. They're car experts, so they can tell you if you're going to have an easy time finding mechanics and finding parts for your car. Is it possible to get the guide before the tour takes place? And the only way you can get the online guide before the tour takes place is if you purchase the online Panama Relocation Guide. And if you buy it before midnight tonight, you can get $100 off if you enter Black Friday 100. If you buy the online guide now and get $100 off now, and then you take a tour later, you do get $200 off on your tour later on. So you can save money on the tour if you get the guide now, or you can just wait and get it for free after your tour. And next question. What's the usual time frame for documents to be sent to the Panama consulate and get them back? Unsure them and track them in case. So usually they're going to get to the Panama if you send it on a weekday, like if you send them on a Monday, they would arrive there on Tuesday, they'd be authenticated on Wednesday, they'd be sent back to you on Thursday. So you could do it all in less than 5 days if you do it over the weekdays. Now, Panama consulate's not open on the weekends, so those days don't count. I want to know if they have plastic surgeons in Panama. They do have plastic surgeons in Panama. I know there's some in Panama City, because I know people that have had eye lifts and nose jobs and boob jobs and other things in Panama City. There may be some in David also, but I don't know. Can you speak about Zonie citizenship? My wife was born there in 1961 while her dad was stationed there in the U.S. Army. So yes, it is. If you were born in Panama in the Canal Zone, then what you need to do is get a certified copy of your birth certificate, which you can only get from the State Department in the United States. Get a certified copy that has to be apostilled. And then I would suggest you work with an immigration attorney to help you get, you don't have to, but it's just going to be so much easier, especially if you don't speak fluent Spanish, if you use an immigration attorney to help you get that citizenship. So you're going to need your criminal report, you're going to need a certified copy of your birth certificate that shows you were born in the Canal Zone. Then you can get your citizenship and a Panama passport. I think they charge $600 for the citizenship and passport, so it's real affordable. What's the best and the safest, most newcomer-friendly, pet-friendly areas for someone moving alone? And what should I know about long-term rentals versus Airbnb? You're really kind of asking the wrong questions, Nina. Those questions, you know, there's many places in Panama that are going to fit that criteria. What's more important is which places are going to fit your budget. So you need to know Are you on $1,500 a month, $2,500 a month, $5,000 a month? So you need to know what your budget's going to be to find the right place that's going to fit. The other criteria is going to be the weather. Do you prefer to be in a big metropolitan area like Panama City? Do you prefer to be in more rural areas and more the Panamanian feel like Chitre or Las Tablas perhaps? Do you want to be in an area where you can't walk 3 feet without seeing an expat? And then you probably want to be in Boquete if that's what you're looking for. So there's many places that the best, safest, newcomer friendly, pet friendly, but you need to figure out your budget and you need to figure out what kind of weather you prefer, because you can basically write your ticket to whatever you want here. Speaking to Medicare specialists, they mentioned I must have a U.S. address. I won't have a U.S. address in the U.S. So yes, for you to get Medicare or Medicare Advantage, you must have a U.S. address. Many people use their son or daughter's address or friend's address. There's also different services that you can get to get a Florida residency that will give you an address, or South Dakota residency that will give you an address there. So there's many ways to obtain residency and an address in the states without owning real estate there. We have information about all those things in the online Panama Relocation Guide. Just a quick reminder, it's on sale today, but the sale ends tonight at midnight. You can get $100 off if you use coupon code Black Friday 100. So Russ wants to know, is there any way of getting connected to a realtor that rents apartments or houses during the time of the tour? You're in luck, Russ, because every single day during the tour, you're going to meet a real estate agent. They're going to be showing apartments or houses that are going to be for rent. But in Panama City, you're going to see rentals. On Saturday, on Sunday, you're going to see rentals in Panama Pacifico and in the Coronado area. The next day, you're going to see rentals in Azores. So you're going to meet a lot of agents during the tour. I've been keeping an eye on rental properties on Facebook and getting discouraged. Some rentals being offered for 5 years. Well, you shouldn't even bother looking for rentals on Facebook and also the real estate agent websites. Most of the things on real estate agent websites, those aren't even available. That's just not the best way to find rentals on Facebook. We have a website on a page on our website called Rentals. So if you go to Panama Relocation Tours at the top, click on Rentals, and there I have a link to the best 3 places for you to look for rentals that are currently available. And Facebook is not one of those. Are there affordable ways to ship personal items with sentimental value from the U.S. to Panama? So yes, there definitely is. It depends on how much you're going to be shipping. If you just have a couple of boxes that you're going to be shipping, then you can use one of the mail forwarding services and just ship the boxes to Miami. And then from Miami, it's going to be shipped to Panama, and you'll pick it up at their location. If you have like 20 or 30 boxes that you want to ship, or just a few pieces of furniture that you want to ship, and you can do a pallet, which is usually like 4 feet by 4 feet by 6 feet tall. And you might ship 1 or 2 of those. Either way, with those, you're going to use what's called a mail forwarding company. In the online Panama Relocation Guide, we have a list of the mail forwarding companies. There's different ones in each city in Panama. But we have information on there on shipping a pallet or just shipping goods. It's free for you to get an account with them, to get that address in Miami, to ship the things there to Miami. And then if you're just shipping a couple of boxes here, they're going to charge about $3 a pound. So it's something heavy, then it's going to be $3 a pound. But if you ship a pallet, a small pallet or a large pallet, they charge about $12 per cubic foot. So it's not by weight, it's going to be by the size of the box. Details about that are in the online Panama Relocation Guide. Is it true that MiniMed now offers Medicare Advantage? It's true that MiniMed now accepts Medicare Advantage. for urgent care or emergencies. So the ideal situation with MiniMed is to get their MiniMed Expat Health membership, which is going to cover just routine doctor visits, lab work, x-rays, even little minor emergencies that are less than $500. And then have Medicare Advantage that's going to cover the major things that like heart attack or stroke or car accident that would put you in the hospital, because the MiniMed Expat Health membership is going to cover the little things for $20 a month or $220 a year. Medicare Advantage is going to cover everything else. And there's direct billing with Medicare Advantage at MiniMed, so you have zero out-of-pocket expense. And next question down here. I'm looking forward to coming on your tour this Friday. Is it possible to apply for my pensionado visa while you're there? Russ, it is possible to apply for your pensionado visa if you bring all of your documents that are authenticated or apostilled with you. And we turn it into your immigration attorney just the first day of the tour. And then you'd have to go back after the tour to apply for the visa. You need to plan on being an extra 5 days, 5 business days after the tour to apply for your visa. Then you can just have one trip, visit Panama, learn everything you need, and get your visa all in one trip. And can you get MiniMed even if you don't have a visa? Yes, you can get MiniMed even if you don't have a visa. If you go to our website at Panama Relocation Tours and you just type in MiniMed at the top, it'll take you to an article that has a brochure about what's included with their Expat Health membership. There's also a link for you to sign up online. You can either pay $20 a month or $220 a year. I got my FBI background check electronically, but also did the fingerprint blocks because I don't know which to do. So no, you only need the FBI background check that you got from the electronic. You should have gotten that within about 1 hour after getting it. So that's the only one that you need. So that's what you need to send to the consulate for authentication. Let me just take a quick break here. Need a little drink. Boy, talking really dries out your voice. So while we're taking a little break before I answer some more questions, I just want to remind everybody that today is the last day for our Black Friday special. You can get $100 off on the online Panama Relocation Guide if you enter coupon code Black Friday 100. You can see more details about it here, PanamaRelocationTours.com/Black Friday. Get more details there. You get $100 off. We only do this once a year, right after Thanksgiving for a couple of days. We offer $100 off. You won't see that discount any other time during the year. In addition to the discount, you're also going to be entered into a drawing for a free, all-inclusive 6-day, 7-night Panama Relocation Tour. And we're giving away 5 free tours for 2 people each. So each tour is worth $4,000, and we're giving away 5 of those. So if you're interested in coming on a tour or interested in the guide, then you need to get it today to save some money and potentially win a free tour. I understand that under the pensionado visa, I can't work, but can I offer services in payment for charity? You cannot. You can't, bartering or anything, payment for services, any of those things, or you can't do it with a pensionado visa. If you want to be offering some kind of a service or selling stuff or trading things, then you really need to get a different visa. Which beach communities near Panama City do you recommend for access to shops, beach, on foot, via bus? So if you look at our YouTube channel, we've done several different videos recently, people that live in beach communities, and we even show the shopping areas that are close to them. So one is Playa Dorada. It's only 30 minutes outside of Panama City, and it's 5 minutes from a huge mall and all kinds of shopping. So be sure and watch the video about living in Playa Dorada. The other video that we did recently was living in Nueva Gorgona, also just called Gorgona. Now it's a very affordable beach community, just like Playa Dorada is, and but it's about 10 minutes away from shopping. So, and also Gorgona is more like an hour and a half away from Panama City. So Playa Dorada would definitely be the beach community that's the closest to Panama City that also has access to beach and shopping. So, can we pay for the Black Friday special with the Visa card? Yes, we accept any major credit card, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, any card. Just go to, pop it up here again. Go to PanamaRelocationTours.com/Black Friday for details, and there's a link on there where you can buy the online guide. You'll get instant access. You'll get it immediately. Plus, you get an invitation to join our private Facebook group. More than 7,000 members. Most of them are people that have already moved to Panama, and they're all willing to help you with any questions that you have. By the way, do you guys see Mr. Buster over here? He's helping. He's being good. What if you purchased the guide last month? How can I get in the drawing? The drawing is only available for people that bought the online guide between November 25th and December the 2nd. Can you apply for mini-med if you're not on Medicare? Yes, you can just have a mini-med. You don't have to have Medicare. You don't have to have Medicare Advantage. You can just have mini-med. And a lot of people do that. Because maybe they're not even eligible for Medicare yet. Is there an affordable community close to a safe swimming beach? So, everybody has their own opinion about it, but personally, I don't think that many of the beaches are all that safe to swim in. I guess I'm just a scaredy cat when it comes to that, because there's some riptides on both the Pacific and the Caribbean side. There could be riptides, so you have to be really, really careful about swimming in the beach. But one of the communities that's most popular for swimming beach would be any of them in Bocas del Toro on the Caribbean side. Those are all really good swimming beaches, and it's affordable. Another one is Playa Caracol, Caracol, which is a bit isolated, but it's beautiful white sand, and it's a beach that's about an hour west of Panama City and about an hour east of the Coronado area. So Playa Caracol would be another one. I got my background check electronically. I think I already did that one. Yep, already did that one. My spouse is in Thailand. Before I bought the online guide, I emailed 3 random immigration attorneys about translations. One says must be in Panama. 2 say translate from Thai to English, then Spanish. I'm not sure if there's a question in there, so let me know what the question is. How do I get a discount on a private guide booked through you with the purchase of the online guide? So whenever you purchase the online guide, you get access to our list of private tour guides. How do I get the discount on the private guide booked through you? So you have to get the discount, you need to go to, once again, you need to go to PanamaRelocationTours.com/Black Friday. Enter coupon code Black Friday 100 to get the discount on the online guide. And then inside of there is a list of the private tour guides if you want to set up a private tour. And it says, I'm booked for the May 1 through 8th, 2026 tour. If I buy the guide now to enter the giveaway, how would I get the discount applied to my tour? So if you buy the online guide now, you of course get access to it now. And then we automatically know that you bought the online guide. What happens when you buy the guide, then you get a coupon code that gives you $200 off on your tour. So you just use that coupon code to make the final payment on your tour. I'm glad you liked the new haircut. Thank you. Taking some getting used to. I have to get my pet's health certificate apostilled. Your pet health certificates can either be apostilled or they can be authenticated. They can be apostilled at the state level or the federal level, or they can be authenticated at any Panama consulate. How does one go about getting a fixer, and approximately how much is their service, ballpark, to get an idea? So we have a list of fixers in the online Panama Relocation Guide. For those people that don't know, a fixer is someone that helps you get things done. So you might want to hire them to help you open up a bank account, or hire them to help you get your Panama driver's license, or hire them to just go with you on shopping to help you understand what the different things are, what they're called. So there's all kinds of different things that you might hire them for. And the cost for them is going to depend on what service that they are going to provide, how much of their time it's going to take up. In an older video, an expat was interviewed and she was selling homemade products at a weekly event. I know exactly who you're talking about. You're talking about Crystal, and Crystal has a Friendly Nation visa and a work permit, which allows her to be able to sell products at the Tuesday market. When she moved to Panama, she intentionally got that visa because she knew her plans were that she would eventually be wanting to sell things. Can you join MiniMed while living in the States? Yes, you can join MiniMed while you're living in the States, but keep in mind why. There's really no reason, because MiniMed can only offer their services in Panama. So if you're living in the States, but you knew you're moving to Panama in a couple of weeks, then yes, you can go ahead and join it now, and then you're already going to have your insurance through MiniMed whenever you get here. But there's no need, if you're living in the U.S., to have MiniMed Expat Health membership, because you can only use it at a MiniMed location. They have a big hospital in Panama City. They have 14 locations around Panama City, and they're soon opening up 3 more locations, one in Boquete, and some other places in Panama also. Looking forward to my PRT tour in May. Can you advise regarding luggage? Tour says only 1 carry-on plus 1 personal item. That's exactly right. That's what you can bring. If you want to bring some 50-pound suitcase, then you can certainly do that. But what we do, if you have some big suitcase that you want to bring, we just have someone that picks it up in Panama City, and they ship it using an in-country courier service to Boquete. So it's waiting for you on the other side of the country whenever you get there. We do laundry during the tour every Tuesday. When you arrive in Boquete at that hotel, they give you a big laundry bag that you can put all your dirty clothes in. They do your laundry. You pick it up the next day. So you really don't need very many clothes. It's not a dress-up situation. It's very casual. And we do your laundry halfway between the tour, so you have it all washed and ready to go again. I need to remove a kidney stone. In Costa Rica, the privates cost $10,000. If I buy the Medicare Advantage, will I be able to get the surgery for free in Panama? So Medicare Advantage is only available for urgent care or emergencies. So if you went into the emergency room and said you were having pain from that kidney stone, then yes, you would be able to get it done for free in Panama. If you go to one of the 4 hospitals that accepts Medicare Advantage with direct billing, meaning you don't have to pay up front and then file a claim. And those 4 hospitals in David, it will be Hospital May Lewis or Hospital Cherokee. In Panama City, MiniMed Hospital or the Panama Clinic. Those are the 4 hospitals that are offering direct billing for Medicare Advantage. And by the way, inside the online Panama Relocation Guide, we have a recommendation of 3 Medicare Advantage agents that specialize in working with expats and making sure you get the best plan that's going to cover the most for you overseas. So if you don't already have Medicare Advantage, you might want to have them, or even if you already have Medicare Advantage, you might want to have them review your policy to make sure it's the best policy for overseas coverage. Is information about the stem cell therapy that you get included in the guide? No, it's not included in the guide because I just have Panama information in there. But if you want to get information about it, you can send me an email to info@PanamaRelocationTours.com. I don't know, but I think the stem cells help. That's for sure. Another country required all translations to be done by someone authorized in their country. Can Panama translation companies translate the alien Thai language? I don't know if Panama translation companies can translate Thai language or not. You'd need to talk to an immigration attorney. And if you talk to 3 different immigration attorneys, you're probably going to get 3 different answers because they may not know. But just talk to the immigration attorneys and say, can you find a translator that can translate from Thai into Spanish? Whoops, Buster just jumped right here in front of me. If you receive your temporary pensionado visa, is the permanent visa automatic after a 6-month wait? Unfortunately, Dave, it's not automatic that you're going to get a permanent visa. Let me tell you why. If you have a completely clean FBI report or criminal report, there's nothing on it, it says all clean, no arrest, then yes, you're going to get your permanent visa. But if you have any dings at all on your criminal report, even if you're issued a temporary pensionado visa, there's no guarantee that you're going to get your permanent visa. And I do know several people that got a temporary visa and they thought they were going to get their permanent visa after 6 months, but their permanent visa was denied because of things that were on their criminal report or because immigration did additional investigations and found that they'd had other arrests in other countries that were not disclosed on their application, so that automatically disqualified them. If you have a federal retiree Aetna plan, will they do direct billing with Aetna? I do not have a Medicare Advantage. So that's a good question. I know that most of them accept Aetna. Not all Aetna plans are going to have overseas coverage. So you need to verify that the Aetna plan that you have has any kind of overseas coverage. The good thing about Medicare Advantage it has overseas coverage. So you need to check with your Aetna retirement plan to see if it even has any overseas coverage. If it has overseas coverage, then my guess, and this is not for sure, but my guess is that the billing companies could do billing to Aetna if you have overseas coverage. So it's already after 6 o'clock and Buster just jumped right in front of me. He basically is saying, Mom, this is long enough. It's time for us to go watch some TV. He's like that sometimes. So I know you guys always have so many questions all the time. We could do these 2-hour live streams with answering your questions, but I'm going to lose my voice if I talk too long. The good thing is next Tuesday, I'll be broadcasting live from Mexico, where I'm flying to on Sunday, and I'll be there all next week. And so next week, we're going to have another Q&A where I'm going to be answering your questions about living and moving to Panama. Even though I'll be in Mexico next week, I'll be answering your questions about moving to Panama. Also, next Tuesday, during our live stream, I'm going to announce the 5 winners of the all-inclusive 6-day, 7-night Panama Relocation Tour for everybody that buys the online guide between November 25th at midnight tonight. They're going to be entered into a drawing for a free, be sure to give us the thumbs up, definitely. For everybody that buys the online guide between November 25th and December the 2nd, midnight tonight, you're going to be entered into a drawing for 5 free, all-inclusive, 6-day, 7-night Panama relocation tours valued at $4,000 each, or 2 people on each tour. So if you buy the online guide today, using coupon code Black Friday 100, you'll be entered into that drawing for a free tour. So good luck, everybody. I hope you win that free tour. We'd love to show you how beautiful Panama is. I hope you got a lot of good information on this one. Next Tuesday, we're going to do this all over again, and I'll answer more questions. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.